Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and this is an episode of Raw Recap. Actually, it's the first episode of Raw Recap. Formerly, we just called this our WWE show. We're restarting, we're re-energizing, relaunching. The format's changed a bit, but I think you guys will enjoy it better. Now let's jump right into it with the negatives of the night. First thing, the Bellas versus Naomi and Tamina. I don't know, it doesn't feel like they're actually giving Divas a chance. I'm not for the Paige versus Bellas storyline. This didn't even help move either side further, other than to show the Bellas are still in charge, I guess, or still dominant. I really don't think that Nikki Bella is losing the women's title or Divas title until she beats AJ Lee's record for longest reign. So until that happens, I don't think the division's going to be fun. There's not much put into it. Everybody's in one storyline. And it just makes for uninteresting television to me. Another thing that I really thought was a negative was Dolph Ziggler versus Adam Rose. Two wrestlers I actually like a lot. Both to be stuck in a holding pattern of going nowhere. Dolph Ziggler is bouncing off the glass ceiling as much as anyone's ever bounced off the glass ceiling in the history of wrestling. He's got to where he's going to be on the card. They're not willing to push him any further. We have to accept that as Dolph Ziggler fans, but his storyline with Lana makes little to no sense. Why are they together? You know, where was the story other than Lana thought he was pretty? I guess, I don't know. And the Adam Rose thing, he's doing a whole artist thing. I think it might be cool. I think they've dropped the ball with Adam Rose. I'd like to see more of him and more of a fleshed out character. Now going from that, we're going to go into our worst match of the night. The worst match of the night, in my opinion, for Monday Night Raw was Wade Barrett versus Zack Ryder. There's a lot of reasons. A, the match itself wasn't great. B, the outcome was severely predetermined. Barrett was either going to win or R-Truth was going to help Ryder pick up a surprise win somehow, either by distracting or whatever. But it just fell flat. Another case of two guys, Wade Barrett, who could be a main event player, and Zack Ryder, who, for whatever reason, WWE refuses to give anything good to work with. I don't know, to me it just fell really flat. Now, coming off of that, we're going to go into our question of the week. Now, if you watched our shows in the past, we've kept it relevant to what happened on the show. The question of the week for this week is for you guys. Especially you returning listener, or viewers, I'm sorry. What do you think of the new format? Let me know your opinion. If you like it better, if you don't like it as much. I believe, and I'll get into it next week, why I changed it more once we talk about it a little bit. So maybe some of your questions will be answered then. Now, to answer the question of the week, you can put your answer down in our comments right below here. Make sure you hit like and share. Get us out there to the world. You could go to our Facebook page. You could go to our Twitter page. Both are linked onto the show in the description under the YouTube descriptions. Tell me wherever you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable sending me a direct message on Twitter, that's fine. If you feel comfortable posting on our Facebook page, that's fine too. If you feel comfortable just leaving it in the comments under YouTube, you don't want to leave the channel, perfectly fine by me. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoy this new format, what you think, some things you liked and some you might not have. Now, rolling off of that, we're going to go right into our positives for the night. My positives, I enjoyed the John Cena Kevin Owens promos. I think this feud's been spot on. I'm kind of scared that Cena's going to get the win over Owens. I believe they've stumbled onto a diamond in the rough, which Kevin Owens, aka Kevin Steen, someone I've been touting for a very long time as a really awesome wrestler and a guy that could be the best wrestler in the world. I'm just scared of what WWE is going to do with him. I'm afraid they're going to make him just another heel that Cena overcomes. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope that he goes out and he beats Cena solidly and we see someone special. And we see the next big heel in wrestling, next big heel in the WWE. To me, and I've made this analogy to some of my friends. Him beating Cena is much like Mankind when he came in and he had those matches with The Undertaker where he would beat The Undertaker. And he had a winning record against The Undertaker. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, Mick Foley has the best head-to-head win-loss record against The Undertaker. It went a long way to show that Mick Foley was a serious contender. Kevin Owens beating John Cena soundly and ultimately winning the feud will go a long way to show that Kevin Owens is a serious contender and someone you should pay attention to. The other positives, I enjoyed the end segment with Seth Rollins apologizing to Kane and J&J Security to get them back on board. Brock Lesnar comes out. Unfortunately, Jamie Noble got injured. However, we see the numbers kind of outpower Brock Lesnar. Now, what does Brock do to answer this? Does he get reinforcements? Does he take them out one by one? Do they play off of Jamie Noble's injury and do a thing where he eliminates one a week till he gets to Rollins? Who knows? It leaves a lot open. It left Brock Lesnar looking vulnerable in a time where it's hard to believe that a guy like Seth Rollins would beat Brock Lesnar. Them doing something like this makes it seem feasible. Now we're going to go right into the promo of the night. In my opinion, the promo of the night, and it's probably going to be any night that he grabs the microphone, was Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar to open the show. The stuff they did apologizing to Cole and JBL was absolutely hilarious. You could see Paul Heyman was even laughing. Paul Heyman is an absolute master of the microphone. You hand that microphone to him and he will captivate everybody in the audience and everybody at home watching on television. Just a fantastic promo, as always, as to be expected from them. And last but not least, our match of the night. In my opinion, Neville versus Kofi Kingston was my favorite match of the night. Two guys I like. I like the matchup. I like what they did. I like the involvement with New Day and the Primetime Players. One of my favorite feuds right now is New Day and Primetime Players. I think they're two excellent teams going up against each other. The addition of Neville in there gives it another little dynamic, which I think is awesome. I think Neville is a great wrestler. This is a good match. I really enjoyed it. Probably my favorite of the night. And obviously my favorite of the night. I gave it match of the night. But anyway, just a good match, a solid wrestling match, a solid feud that's been continued during the match. Just fun for everybody. Now, coming off of that, if you've seen the show before, this is something that we're keeping on the rehash, or the reboot. We have a 1 to 5 scale. 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. 1 is a Brock Lesnar, 2 is a Randy Orton, 3 is an R-Truth, 4 is a Heath Slater, and a 5 is a Los Matadors. Now remember, 1 is the best, 5 is the worst. Could give the show a 3 in R-Truth. There was a lot of stuff that kind of fell in that who really cares about a category, which was something that we covered previously on the show. We would cover the stuff that really didn't make an impact either way. I've cut that fat out of this so we can trim the show down a little bit and make it streamlined. And as you can see, it's taken a lot of time off the show. It's taken, it shrank the show down a bit. It's made it more streamlined. However, it makes for a bad show. You had a great opener, a great closer, a couple good things in the middle. But other than that, it was a pretty boring show with some pretty ho-hum matches. I mean, a lot of the matches did absolutely nothing for me. And that's part of the problem. Which is why it's a middle-of-the-road show, a 3, and R-Truth. I think they could do a lot better. Obviously, they could do a lot worse. But I hope that they do better going forward. But basically, that's all I have to say about this. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of Raw Recap. The first episode of Raw Recap. Thank you for watching.